TAP is sort of an acronym for Taxpayer Advocacy Panel. It's essentially a group of citizen volunteers from around the country.
There are 75 members. They're chosen from all over the United States, and we also have a foreign member.
We solicit issues from taxpayers and try to come up with solutions that we can give to the IRS to improve their service to taxpayers.
We don't focus on individual problems. It could be an individual problem, but it's systemic-wide problem, as many people have it.
Our goal, our focus, our mission is to be an advocate or a mediator between the Internal Revenue Service and the citizens of the United States.
We do not tell the IRS what to do, but our suggestions and our advice are taken seriously.
So it's really not a part of the IRS, but we have a special relationship with the IRS because we're making recommendations to improve the way they do business. So obviously we communicate directly with the service for that purpose. There's an annual announcement in USA Jobs. There's also an IRS publication that goes into the media functions that identifies when they are seeking recruits for the next class, so to speak, of TAP members.
You first apply on the improveirs.org website, and then if you are selected, you're interviewed, and then from that pool of candidates, they select the members.
Basically, it's like applying for any job, but it's just a volunteer basis. So the process is you apply through USA Jobs. You send in a resume, and they'll if they select you, you get an interview.
The requirements are that you're a U.S. citizen, that you paid your taxes, and that you can pass a fingerprint background check.
The time commitment depends on the individual.
There's a variation, but it's generally between 300 and 400 hours of volunteer hours per calendar year.
If somebody would like to join, I would say just look out in USA Jobs around the beginning of the year, and that's when we do our announcements. February-March timeframe, they start announcing the advocacy panel openings.
Once you're on TAP, the kind of people you meet are some are enrolled agents, some are accountants, some are lawyers like me, others are housewives or teachers or educators.
Any taxpayer coming from any kind of background can actually help add to the TAP in terms of adding more knowledge or more ability to make a change.
And there really are no hard skills that are required to serve. The soft skills are enthusiasm and passion for what we do.
Because you have to be able to work on a team, work together with a group toward a common goal. You have to be able to make a commitment to meet at a certain time and show up virtually, but still show up. And then to put in the time and energy to do some research on various issues that your team is working on.
I'm finding that in some cases, the people that aren't necessarily tax professionals are coming up with really interesting suggestions.
Outreach is a big part of what TAP does. And when I say outreach, I mean educating the tax-paying public as well as tax practitioners and the general public about what TAP is, why it's there, and to encourage them to submit recommendations about improvements to the way the IRS does business. Because without those suggestions or recommendations, TAP would have nothing as a beginning of a work product.
We go out, we do outreach, we ask people, are there problems that you're having with the IRS? So we ask pointed questions. Well, what are the problems you have? What are the issues you have? And we get them, or we'll take from them their issues and problems, and we'll submit it to the IRS.
I do my outreach a lot by social media. I have different social media platforms as an individual where I post information about the Taxpayer Advocacy Panel and the work we do. I also teach part-time at a college, and I talk to my students about it, and I encourage them to submit issues.
All tax professionals have weird things that they don't like about a form, or they don't like about something else, and they don't really know where to go, and they're not going to call up the IRS and say, hey, this doesn't work. But they can go through TAP and make some difference. And I've actually personally taken complaints from some accountants and some tax attorneys, and I've taken in these complaints and I've passed them on to the appropriate committees, and they've actually been fixed. And people who see me after that happens are stunned that this person who's not a tax lawyer and not an accountant and not a paid professional preparer can go in and get that stuff fixed.
So to learn more about the Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, you can go to our website, which is improveirs.org. There you can submit issues if you have suggestions or comments or problems that you'd like the IRS to address on a system-wide basis.
You can also find out who your Taxpayer Advocacy Panel is for your city, your state, how to apply. There's a newsletter on the website that tells you what subcommittees are working on, what the date, what the time frame is, and how you can also apply comments if you would like to leave comments on the website.
Anybody can submit an issue about anything. They may not all be taken up, but the ones that are appropriate and that we can make a difference in are often picked up. And if you leave contact information, someone can get back to you and let you know what's happened with your issue.
And in the end, our mission is help to improve the IRS. You know, that's improveirs.org is that's what we're here trying to do, is help out the IRS, fix issues.
If you're the type of person who wishes to see something different and bring in parts of your life that can change the IRS in a good way, then the TAP is the place to be.